Jingle, Jangle, A Christmas Journey is the brand new Netflix original film that dropped this past Friday, November 13th on Netflix. The film is about an imaginary world comes to life in a holiday tale of an eccentric toy maker played by Forrest Whitaker, his adventurous granddaughter, who is played by Madeline Mills, and a magical invention that has the power to change their lives forever. As I said earlier, the film does star Forrest Whitaker, Keegan Michael Key, Felicia Rashad, Ricky Martin, Madeline Mills, Anika Noni Rose, and a lot more. And the movie is a PG movie and is 2 hours and 2 minutes long. Welcome back, guys, to a brand new review here on Max Talks Movies. My name is Max Stenenberg. And as I told you earlier, I am reviewing Jingle, Jangle, A Christmas Journey. So before we get into this review of Jingle, Jangle, please let me know your non-spoiler thoughts of this film in the comment section down below. Tell me, did you really like this movie? Did you not like this movie? Is this one of your favorites, least favorite? Tell me where this ranks for you on the overall of the year. Is this one of your favorite Netflix movies of the year? Tell me all your actual thoughts in the comment section down below. If you have not checked out this movie yet, tell me, are you going to check out this movie yet as well? So let me know all that in the comment section down below. Also, please like this video, and also tell you where to find a review with the producer of the movie, Mike Jackson, at the end of this review. Again, non-spoiler thoughts. Let's get into it. So, again, I interviewed Mike Jackson, who's a very close family friend with mine, very, very close with him, and I was really excited for him for this movie. I saw the trailer, really enjoyed it, went to the premiere of it with my family last night at the Grove in a drive-thru. It was a great experience to do that, my first ever movie premiere, so all great stuff there. And then really, just seeing the people who did the project in person was also just great to see that as well. So let's get into the non-spoiler review. Again, no bias, Mike, even though I know you want me to give a good review, and this will be a good review, okay? So don't give me, enough stuff for that. So let's go through the positives, then the negatives, and I'll give you my score. So again, this is actually the most easy to watch, fun movies that you'll get all year. I think Netflix has a lot of time. They put too much effort into their Christmas movies where there's so much that you can't really enjoy one. And this is a very enjoyable Christmas movie, and this is definitely for the family. Everyone can watch this movie. At the premiere, you saw a lot of kids at the premiere last night. So this is very much a family film. And it hits that demographic very, very well. And also the actors in this movie, I was really excited for. Forrest Whitaker is easily one of the best actors in Hollywood. He's not a megastar or anything, but he is such a good actor. He really sinks his teeth into this movie. And again, if I'm not mistaken, this really is his first musical, and he has a good singing voice. Again, this is a full-on musical, guys, a full-on musical. So Forrest Whitaker plays our lead character, Geronicus. Again, this is non-spoiler, but basically something happens to him at the beginning of the film, which basically makes him lose his passion for inventing. He loses his wife tragically passes away. His daughter doesn't really like him anymore, and he's just losing faith. He's not believing anything. Then his granddaughter comes along, who basically really is the star of the movie, played by Madeline Mills, and who plays the character of Journey. And she easily is the brightest spot of this movie. She is a star in the making, I would say. She is terrific in this movie. The first time, actually, one of the rare times at the premiere there, everyone was kind of honking their horns, was the time where she had this solo song. It was fantastic. She brings so much more energy to the movie, because obviously she's the energy because Forrest Whitaker's character is down on himself. Keegan Michael Key is the villain of the movie, so you're not really energized to see him, but she brings a big sense of life, child humor, but also adult humor to the movie that was very needed as well. Felicia Rashad is also in here. She's barely in here. She doesn't have a lot to do. She's fine for the very small time she's in it. Keegan Michael Key is one of my favorite comedic actors. I'll tell you about him actually in the negative side, not him, but the character himself. He does the best job that I believe he was given. He wasn't really given a lot to be funny, and I'll talk about that again in the negatives. But if you're here, Forrest Whitaker was fantastic. Madeline Mills was really fantastic. Also, Anika Noni Rose, I believe is her name. Yes. And she was also very, very good. There's so many great performances in here as well. So I really did enjoy this movie. Really, Lisa Davina Phillip, who I forgot to mention in my cast list, she stole a lot of the movie as Mrs. Johnston, a possible love interest to Geronicus in the movie, and she is so funny. not sure her songs always hit, but her character herself was kind of the comic relief of the movie, which I thought would be Keegan Michael Key, but it wasn't. And Ricky Martin was in there, wasn't totally the best, but he plays an animated toy. And when you watch the movie, you'll know who Ricky Martin is right off the bat. As I also said, guys, the music is also great. And I'm also saying that because I'm not a musical person. I'm not really looking forward to musicals. I'm not the biggest fan of musicals. So again, I can really critique musicals really deeply, because if the music doesn't hit me well, then I don't want music in there. I want to see dialogue. I'm more of a dialogue person than a musical person. And again, there's a lot of music in here. Most of the music was fantastic in here. As I said earlier, Madeline Mills does a fantastic job performing her song. Forrest Whitaker has a good song. Keegan Michael Key's song was also very well done. And the song of the ending is also a very powerful way to end the movie as well. Some songs don't hit. Some try to go for comedy a little too much. And again, the movie is also, it looks great. The set, I know it was filmed in London. The on location, the way the movie looks, it really gets you in that Christmas feel, which is what the movie was exactly going for. So again, all those points, you see the costumes are great. The actual look of the set is really fantastic. All of that really works. And the music's great. The performances are also really good. So let's transition now into my negatives. I do have a bunch to talk about here. The first one is that this movie is 2 hours and 2 minutes long. And this movie honestly had no business being that long. This movie needs to be 1:30, 1:40 at the max. This movie needed to cut a good 20 to 25 minutes out. The climax of the movie happens, and I was like, oh my God, the movie's about to end. And then I realized there was like 30 minutes left, and the movie does drag at parts. And because it's 2 hours long, the pacing isn't always great. We get a very energetic song, and then we get depressing with Forrest Whitaker. So I don't think the pacing also works the best in this movie, because the runtime is dragging it out to a point of absurdity. It needed to be 1:30 or 1:40. This movie dragged a little bit too much, especially really towards the end of the movie. And as I said earlier, Keegan Michael Key, who I was actually the most pumped to see in this movie, is totally wasted in this movie. And if you're here just to see Keegan Michael Key, I don't know about this movie, because he is, again, and I enjoy everyone else in the movie, and I was coming here to see Keegan Michael Key steal the movie, and he didn't steal the movie. And he plays basically the villain of the movie. He played Geronicus's apprentice, who did something bad to Geronicus back when they were young, and he's the villain of the movie. His first song is actually introduction when you see Keegan Michael Key for the first time is fantastic. That song I've listened to a couple times now. It's very, very good. But his character development isn't really that great, and they give you a lot of scenes with him, but it's not that impactful. You never really feel like Keegan Michael Key's character, who is Gustafson, is ever a real threat to taking on Forrest Whitaker and our lead character, Madeline Mills. You don't really feel like he's a real threat, and it's also tough to see him as a villain too in this movie. He's very energetic and comedic, but then you're supposed to take him seriously as the main villain. And I don't also love the way they wrapped him up. It's a very child way of wrapping it up with his character, which is fine with me. I didn't really take it seriously, but I was annoyed because I wish he got more to do in this movie. More comedic chops he could have shown off. It's tough to make him not funny. In this movie, he wasn't as funny as I thought he should have been. And the plot is very familiar. You've seen a lot of this plot in a very similar way. A person stops believing because someone he knew very closely took that belief away from him. And then a new character comes along who brings that belief back to him. You've really seen this movie a lot. And this movie does it in a very Christmassy, fun, musical way that I actually liked. It felt very fresh. But at the same time, in the first act, I think the movie really struggled because it felt way too familiar. Once the first scene happens, you're kind of like, each dot on where the movie's going into. And that was kind of my main issue with the movie as well. But Jackson, positive review. So overall, guys, I'm going to give this movie, Jingle Jangle, A Christmas Journey, a 3.5 out of 5, a 67%. It's easily going to be the best Christmas movie you'll get on Netflix this winter. It's a really fun, if you have kids, definitely show them this movie. There's so much fun to have. But also, guys, this movie is fun for not just kids, but also adults. The fact that this is basically an all African-American cast, an all Black cast. We don't really get to see that many Black casts for holiday movies. And That's what Mike Jackson talked to me about, and it does feel like a very meaningful movie to that. It's a very, also just a very positive movie during quarantine. There's so much negativity going on, and this movie is a 2-hour escape of just positivity. I think that's a great part about the movie. So yes, guys, 67% of 3.5 out of 5. As we wrap up this video, guys, please don't forget to like, share, subscribe, ring that bell, and comment down below. Also, leave you a link at the end of right next to my head will be popping up not just my on my playlist of Netflix movie reviews, but also my interview with the producer of the movie, Mike Jackson. We had a great 10-minute conversation about this movie. Talked about his passion with the project, the cast itself, what audiences should take away from it. So if you really like this movie, I would highly recommend check out my interview with Mike Jackson and leave us support in there. There you go, Jackson. There is my positive review for Jingle Jangle. Once again, guys, thank you guys so much for checking out this review. I'll see you guys in the next one.